Kia ora koutou, no mai haramai. Welcome. My name is Greg Huff, and I'm the Manager of Global Engagement at Massey University. I'd like to thank you for coming along to this webinar. What I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about Massey, and then I will save some time at the end for any questions. So Te Kuninga ki Purehiroa is our Maori name. It means from inception to infinity. And the idea is that Massey can be a part of your growing and learning throughout your entire lifetime, from whatever path that you choose forward into the future. And we hope to be a part of that for you. Now, Massey University is ranked within the top 300 universities in the world. We're very much a research-oriented university, so we do a lot of research, and we've got everything from undergraduate programs up through PhD programs. It's one of the largest universities in New Zealand with 29,000 students, but we're unique in the sense that we are the only university that has multiple campuses. So all three of our campuses are on the North Island, and I'll talk a little bit about them. We also happen to be the largest provider of online education. So whether that's anything from individual courses all the way through the many number of full degrees that we offer online. So if it's not something that you're either interested in coming to New Zealand or you want to start in New Zealand and come, then we certainly have a lot of options available. But frankly, most of the international students are able to join us. Quite a lot of students are doing online courses here in New Zealand as well. The way that we're broken up is that we have 5 different colleges. We have about 100 different subject areas across these 5 colleges. And what I wanted to do is to kind of give you a sense of some of the unique ones that we have, because there's quite a number of them. So we are particularly known for agriculture, animal, and life sciences. We originally started back in the 20s as an agricultural institution, and we're now a full-fledged university, but we still have a lot of those roots. So our agricultural program is one of the strongest in the world. So we're currently ranked within the top 20 within the world for our agricultural program. But there's a lot that sits around that as well, as you see. We have stables on campus because we have animal science and zoology here as well. So we have horse stables on campus. Our veterinary science program is accredited by the American Veterinary Medical Association. So students can come here if you want to be a vet. You can study for 5 years and go back to Canada or anywhere in North America and work as a vet. So we have a vet clinic, we have a wildlife animal hospital right on site as well. So there's lots of opportunities within that area. As part of our Palmerston North campus, we also own part of the Palmerston North Airport because we do aviation management. So it's one of the few universities in the world that offers aviation management all the way through to a PhD program. So we have Massey Aircraft, and our students get out and can do everything from pilot training to air traffic control and a range of courses. Our business programs are quite large. We're accredited by the AMBA and AACSB. We're working on EQUIS accreditation as well, but there's a lot of diversity within that portfolio: human resource management, retail, and of course, law and economics as well. Within the arts and humanities, quite a large selection. We do multiple languages, so and particularly if you're interested in learning about Maori history and culture. The Maori are the indigenous people to New Zealand, so there's a rich tradition and history and language that you could learn about while you're here. But we also do interesting programs like sociology and social work. Our communication, journalism, and media courses, it was one of the first programs outside of North America to be accredited by the ACE-JMC, so it meets international accreditation standards. And some really interesting internship opportunities that I'm going to talk about there as well. Of course, since we're very much a research-oriented university, we have quite a range of science programs, as I mentioned earlier, kind of in the life sciences. So if you're into environmental science or biological science, those are particularly strong. But of course, we have engineering and other opportunities as well. We're kind of unique in our food technology program. So again, that's a particular strength. As you see, it's accredited by the Institute of Food Technologists, which is based in North America as well. We also do logistics and supply chain management and building and construction within those areas. So quite some different specializations that you might not find at some other universities. Within our College of Health, of course, a lot of nursing programs. We're very much known as a sports-oriented university. We have high-performance trainers that can help you to advance your skills, and I'll talk about that when I mention global student athlete later. And then the other area, in addition to the agriculture and animal and life sciences that we're really strong in, is in the creative arts. And so that's everything from fashion, design, merchandising, industrial design, spatial design. We also have ties to Peter Jackson's Weta Studio, so the gaming, animation, film, digital media, visual communication. We have one of the largest recording studios in New Zealand as well. So our commercial music program is a really interesting offering if you're interested in learning about the business side of things. Our College of Design is actually older than the university itself. It's already over 100 years old and is accredited by the National Association of Schools of Art and Design. Now, I mentioned earlier our online study. So we have approximately about 14,000 students that participate in online courses. Again, whether they're doing it as like maybe one course as part of a degree program, or they're doing full degree programs that are available by the internet through being offshore or being here in New Zealand. It's a very strong suite of services that we offer, so it's easy to get in touch with your faculty members if you have any questions about any of the materials. Frankly, actually, I'm a distant student as well, so even though I'm here in New Zealand, it works better for me to be able to take my courses at night. So even though I'm on campus, I'm a distant student. I actually find it works really well. I've already completed one qualification, and I'm working on a graduate diploma right now. So as I mentioned earlier, New Zealand has 3 campuses on the North Island. They're based from north to south in Auckland, in Palmerston North, and that's where I'm located, and then in Wellington. Our 3 campuses have very different personalities and a bit of a different academic focus. So where you come to in Massey, it kind of depends a little bit on where you're studying and then what kind of experience that you want as well. So the Manawatu campus, so Manawatu is the name of our region. We don't have states in New Zealand, so our region here is Manawatu, and the city is Palmerston North. This is where the university first started. It has approximately 6,000 students. Because it's the original campus, it also has the largest range of subjects that are available. We started as the agricultural institution, so this is really the home of all of our animal, plant, agriculture, the equine program, and biological sciences. Palmerston North is a really nice town. It's more of a college town because there are a couple of other tertiary institutions that are here. So it's very much got that college town feel. It's one of the highest proportions of 18 to 25-year-olds in New Zealand. This is also where our aviation management program is, since the aircraft and the airport is right here. The Auckland campus is in a suburb, so it's about 20 minutes north of the Auckland downtown area. So it's a suburb called Albany. It is really a campus that focuses a lot on the science and business. A lot of research happens there, food technology, a lot of the connections with industry. So e-commerce and finance are particularly strong up in that area. If you really want to be part of a large city but don't want to be right in the middle of it, then our Auckland campus is a great location. Now, if you're really more interested in being in the heart of a city, then our Wellington campus is located right in the heart of Wellington's Arts and Culture District. So it's one of those funky districts that's got, tattoo parlors and secondhand shops and lots of cafes and restaurants. Wellington's a really easy city to walk around as well. The Massey Wellington campus has a particular focus on creative arts. So that's where all the industrial design and spatial design and the gaming programs that I mentioned earlier are really there. Although there are other areas, so sports and exercise science is there, our nursing program is there as well. So it's a campus where it's easy to get around, it's compact, and it's a great location if you want to be right in the middle of a city. Now, whatever campus that you go to, we have a full suite of services. So all the campuses have health centers, recreation centers, there's counseling and academic support services. So there isn't one that is stronger than the other as far as the kind of services or support that you're going to get. It's really just a matter of what kind of experience do you want to have and what you're studying. So all of the campuses, the semester will start with an orientation for everyone. And then there's also certain sessions that are for international students to make sure that your needs are taken care of And then throughout the semester, there are support services, whether it's through the clubs and societies that we offer or through the programs that are put on by the university itself. So like most universities, I mean, we have quite a range of clubs and societies. So this list that you see here isn't the full list. I just wanted to pick out a couple to highlight to you. And there's a lot of events that will happen for international students, whether as a part of the clubs and societies or programs that we are running. And again, not a full list, but just to give you a sense of some of the things that we have run in the past for students. Now, on-campus accommodation is available across all three campuses. As you can kind of imagine, with having three campuses, the accommodation varies a little bit. So it's everything from flats to with, maybe with 3 people or 5 people, or maybe you'll have a single room. But whatever the case is, you have the opportunity, if you want to have your own room, then you can still do that. So even if you're in a flat with 5 people, you'd still have your own bedroom, and then you'd have the shared space to do all your meals and your cooking. Now, if you don't want to have to self-cater, then our Auckland and our Palmerston North campuses have meal programs so that you can just sign up to do either 1, 2, or 3 meals. Our Wellington campus, just given that it's so centrally located, so close to grocery stores and everything, then all that accommodation is self-catered. So you can cook for yourself. But there's a range of options that are available, kind of depending on what kind of services that you want and what kind of housing that you want. But as I said, no matter what, if you want to have your own room, you can do that in New Zealand. Now, I mentioned internships. One of the nice things about our semester internships is that it doesn't have to take over your entire time. So it's 1 out of the 4 classes that you would normally take while you're here. So you still get full credit. There's not an extra fee. And you can still do all your other academic work and still have a part of an internship that would help to enhance your CV or your employability later. There's lots of different types of placements that you can get within our semester internship. So it's everything from, small businesses, global nonprofits. There are governmental agencies, arts organizations, sports organizations. So kind of a range of things that are available for you. And because it fits within your schedule, the employers will work if you've got classes on certain times, then they'll help to set up a schedule that works really well for you. The idea is generally that you'd work, 1 day a week during these throughout the semester, but it doesn't necessarily have to be 1 full day. So it could be, like 2 half days or working out whatever kind of fits best with your schedule. We've had interns that have worked in our international office. So if you have a particular interest in study abroad, student exchange, international relations, and we are always happy to have interns. I think we've hosted probably about 5 or 6 interns over the last few years. So certainly something to keep in mind. Now, if you're a student athlete, we have a specific program on the Palmerston North campus that's available for you. And these are really programs for students that really want to advance and continue their training at a high level. If you just want to come and go to the rec centers and do that, that's fine. You can do that. We have those types of programs that are available as well. Global Student Athlete is really training with certified high performance trainers to really work with you one-on-one to develop a program to increase your stamina, your strength, your conditioning, and kind of whatever your focus area is. And as you see here, we've got a couple of very specific programs. So if you're a rugby player, you want to come and train with the other rugby players that are here in New Zealand, then that's something that we can help to arrange. So it's a great opportunity. There's no academic component to it. It's just a kind of an add-on to whatever your experience is, if that's something that you're interested in. Now, with scholarships, we have quite a range of scholarships that are available. Some are specific for international students. Some are specific for the types of subjects that you're studying. So we have a whole scholarships page, which I've listed the link there. But in particular, I wanted to mention that for Canadian students, you can use your Canadian and your provincial student loan money to study at Massey University. We're registered with the Canadian government. So whatever loans that you would normally be able to access in Canada, you're able to bring and use to study over here. And we have a staff member that just focuses on international student financial aid. There's a lot more information at the link that you will see there, but certainly if you're struggling maybe a little bit with finances, or you're not sure exactly how, we've got opportunities to help to support you through that. Now, for Canadians coming in, there aren't any specific courses that you need to take in order to enroll at Massey. In general, if you complete, high school, with your grade 12 certificate, then you generally meet the academic requirements. We have a few different, slightly different if you're from Ontario. But as you see here, it's as long as you've successfully completed high school, then those are the academic requirements. So it shouldn't be a problem for you to be able to apply to Massey. We try to do that early enough. You'll see on our website that there's all of our application deadlines and everything is available there. But we have academic support services team members that are available to help you kind of through that, answer any questions, and support you through the process. Now, I just wanted to give you a sense of what the tuition costs. So what I've done here is I've taken the New Zealand costs and I've converted them into Canadian dollars. Right now, the exchange rates are really good. It's very much in your favor. So as of today, so one Canadian dollar will translate into $1.15 in New Zealand. So your money will certainly go further, and that of course reduces costs for you. So these are just sort of general ranges for you. I've done ranges because certain programs will have different costs. You can imagine that if you're going to do, say, a history degree, that's going to have a different cost than, say, a science degree. That there's labs and research equipment and materials that you would need to do. So that's why you'll see some ranges. Sometimes we get that question like, why is the doctoral degree so cheap? The great thing that about New Zealand, if you are interested in doing a PhD, is that we charge international students domestic rates. So those are you'll pay the same rates as you would if you were a domestic here in New Zealand. So if you're particularly interested in a PhD and looking around internationally, New Zealand is a fantastic choice for that. We also, if you complete degrees in New Zealand, there are post-study work rights. So if you're interested in staying on afterward and working here, or potentially if you fall in love with it or someone here in New Zealand and you want to work toward permanent residency or citizenship or something, that there are certainly pathways for you to be able to do that. Throughout the programs too, there's also in-country work rights. So for example, if you're working on a bachelor's degree here but you feel like you need to get a job to kind of help support you, or same with a master's degree, then that's available. That's certainly options. Of course, we also do study abroad as well. Once borders are opening back up for all of this, we'd be happy to talk to you about single semester options as well. Now, I mentioned applying to Massey. So here are the not only the semester application dates, but also the ranges of the time. So we work on a calendar year. So our program runs from mid-February to about mid-November. So semester one would be sort of the equivalent of your spring semester, and semester two would be the equivalent of fall. Now, I mentioned borders. So just, while we're talking about times of the times as they are right now. Currently, the borders are closed, so Immigration New Zealand is not at this moment processing student applications. They're reviewing that again in August. So we're hopeful that as the world continues to get vaccinations out, that borders are open. We have, a travel bubble with Australia that's happening right now and some of the Pacific Islands. So New Zealand is certainly opening up. So if it's something that you're interested in applying for next year, we certainly hope to welcome you in. It's good to start your application now, and so that you're in the process and you're in the queue so that you could start. Now, if things change and there is a delay for whatever reason in the borders opening, as I mentioned earlier, we have a huge number of online programs. So it could be something that you start online and then you're actually able to join us once the borders open. So there's different ways to do that, but we would certainly love to have you over here if that's something that you're interested in and the world gets a little bit more back to normal for all of us. Now, that's my presentation. So if you have any questions, you're certainly welcome to get in touch with me. I'm actually still here at the fair for the next throughout the entire fair. So if it's something that you'd like to go to the Massey University booth and send me a message, I'd be happy to chat with you individually. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to stop sharing my screen right now. And if there are any questions from anyone, I'd be happy to take them in person. And if not, then you're certainly welcome to move on to another booth or anything else. But I'm happy to answer any questions if there's anything I can do for anyone. Yeah, so there was at least one question here in the chat that asked about U.S. financial aid. So yes, if you are a U.S. citizen, if that same link that I showed you before, which is the massey.ac.nz/fedaid, that will take you to the page that shows information about U.S. federal aid. But yes, we do all that as well. If you don't have that link, if you just go to the booth that we have at Massey, on the Recruit in Canada site, then there's links to the Fed aid and the scholarship and everything that's there. Does anybody else have any other questions? All right. Well, what I'm going to do is I will let you go. Again, I will be at the booth for the rest of the fair. So if you'd like to get in touch with me individually, you're welcome to do that. Thanks so much for your time, and I appreciate you coming along. Take care.